Hey guys, it's Lexi. Welcome to Mini Twist 101, where I'm going to be telling you a few things about mini twists that you may not know, or if you have different questions about mini twists, hopefully I answer them in today's video. If I do answer them, or if you found this educational or entertaining, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe down below. I'm going to look down a few times just because I'm looking at my notes on my iPad. I am going to be talking about the different forms of mini twists, pros and cons, and just all that good stuff. So make sure you stay, listen a little bit, and comment down below if you have any more questions, or if you have a different method for mini twists that you would like for everyone else to know, because different hair types, different people, so you might go through different things with your hair. Make sure you comment down below if you have any questions, or if you have a different method or style of doing your mini twist. You may have a different hair type, or you just have a different method that may work for you and someone else. So feel free to share that in the comments so everyone else can hear your opinion on that stuff. Make sure everyone's respectful to everyone else's opinions and all that good stuff in the comments, because I don't want to have to delete comments. That's kind of annoying. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, and I have them in different categories, different sections, pros and cons, all that good stuff. So make sure you listen, sit tight, and enjoy the video. Sorry about the angle change. I had to replace my battery before I got started, but everything is set, so I'm gonna get started. I just want to remind you this is based off of what my hair likes and what I've seen throughout doing my hair and twist on my hair. So yeah, I'm starting off with short-term versus long-term mini twists. These are just different terminologies that I like to use when it comes to the longevity of your hairstyle and the length of time that I am able to keep the hairstyle looking clean and put together. So you may be wondering, what is long-term versus short-term? Long-term is where you plait the roots and then you twist the rest, and then short-term is where you just twist your hair from the root down. So I usually keep my long-term twist in for about 2.5 weeks to max a month for me. My hair frizzes up very quickly sometimes, so I will redo like the edges and then like my middle part. Those twists I will redo depending on how long I keep them in, just so my hair can look cleaner without having to redo all of my twists. I do have a video on my Instagram with a tutorial of how I washed my twist and then I re-twist the front and the middle part, but you can go check that out on my Instagram. It will be linked down below and on the screen. Long term is just where you plait the root, and it lasts much longer than short term just because the roots are plaited, which is the part where the new growth and the frizzing occurs. And when I plait the roots, they look more cohesive and put together whenever I do that. So it lasts longer, it looks more put together, and it looks a little cleaner for a longer period of time. Now we are going to get into the pros and cons of long-term mini twists. For the first pro, I would say they are considered a protective style because you are able to keep them in for a longer period of time, allowing your hair to have less tension and breakage because it is in a style that isn't being pulled on or very damaging to your hair. The second pro is they last longer with less frizz, and if they do frizz up, it will happen further along in the hairstyle period. And lastly, as I've previously stated, the parting and the definition of the parts will look very put together and crispy. So now we're moving on to the cons. The first con, and one of my least favorite things about them, are the twist outs. They aren't as good and defined and like juicy curls as I would prefer them to be. Obviously, when you do the plaiting at the roots and then you twist the rest, once you get to the roots, you're gonna have to separate one of the two twists that you are like twisting around, because you're gonna combine two of the three once you start twisting. I hope that isn't confusing, but once you have to separate that, it loses a bit of definition and it just frizzes up and doesn't have as juicy or like defined curls whenever you do it. So that's a little bit disappointing, but the twist out still looks nice. It's just a bit frizzier and less defined than it would be if you didn't add the braid. But if you keep your twist in for about 2.5 weeks to max a month, then it should be about time for you to wash your hair. So you shouldn't want to like wear your hair out too much after you take them out if you're leaving them in for a long time, because it's time for a wash. Okay, don't go months without washing your hair. Okay. Second con is if you leave it in for too long, this will cause your hair to lock up a lot quicker, because you're braiding the roots. I feel like if you're braiding your roots, it's just kind of like encouraging it to lock a little bit more. So make sure you're not leaving it in for too long. Don't be scared to do this. It's just, you just have to be a bit more cautious with the length of time that you leave it in. And then make sure you're not putting too much water on your roots, because water will help your hair lock up and tangle and curl around the twist and braid. The last con I would say is it takes a bit longer to do than the short-term twist, because you're gonna plait the roots and then you have to twist it. And then if you're new to doing it, it may take a little bit of time for you to figure out the rhythm and figure out how you need to connect the twist or connect the two strands to twist it without it being bulky. So it may take a bit longer to do than the short-term twist, but it is very rewarding. So that is all for long-term mini twists. Now we're going to move into short-term mini twists. Short-term mini twists are the mini twists that do not have plaited roots. They last fewer days. Our first pro for the short-term mini twists are the twist outs. The twist outs turn out so nice as long as you don't leave them in for too long, because it will end up frizzing up. And then if your twists are frizzy, your twist out will be frizzy, and the definition won't be as nice as it would be if you took them out in a reasonable amount of time. I would say max 3 days if you want to do them for like a twist out. If you want them for specifically a twist out, keep them in max 3 days, depending on how frizzy your hair gets or what you have like for that day or week. Just because you don't want your twist to frizz up, because it will eventually cause a lot of frizz for your first day of your twist out, because you don't want your first day of twist out to be frizzy. You would prefer that hopefully like later on in the twist out period. But if you want it to be frizzy, keep your twist in longer and then you can twist out whatever you want. But if you want a more defined and curly twist out, I would say leave them in for max 3 days. I'm just realizing I had that twist on the top of my head the whole time. The second pro is that it doesn't take as long to do as the long-term mini twist. Like I said, plaiting the roots may take a little bit more time to get used to or to get a rhythm for. So that may take a little longer, but it's worth it. Both of them are worth it, just depending on what you're looking for the outcome or the longevity of your hairstyle. Third pro is it's so easy to take down. It's depending on, once again, it just depends on how long you keep your twist in, because if you keep them in longer, your hair starts wrapping around itself and it causes lots of tangles and it makes the detangling process a little bit harder. But the short-term mini twists are much easier in my opinion to take down, because you're just unraveling all the way up to the root. But for the long term, you have to unravel up to the root, and then you have to learn to slowly detangle the root where the plait is, just so you don't have any breakage or have a minimum amount of tangles. Those are the 3 pros for short term. Now we're going to go to the cons for short term. The first con is the roots begin to get really puffy after a short period of time, depending on your schedule or what you do throughout your day. If you work out a lot, I wouldn't recommend short term if you're trying to keep them in for a long period of time. Because the roots will eventually get really puffy and frizzy because you're sweating from your scalp, and that's where your hair is starting the twist. So I would recommend, if you are very active and work out a lot, or you're busy and you move a lot, I would definitely recommend doing the long-term mini twist. Even if you're not trying to keep them in for too long, it would just look very clean and put together throughout a longer period of time, or just look more put together throughout the time that you may need it. Second con is if you are not adding any jam or anything to the roots to make your parts define, which I recommend not adding anything to the roots, just because it allows your scalp to breathe, causes less buildup. It's just a lot of things that go into adding jam that I don't want to have to deal with when I have my twist in. So I don't use jam or anything on my roots when I'm doing twists. I have the back of my hair is twist, and I decided to not do plaits on the roots, and that's just because it's going to be more convenient for me to take them down and wear my hair, and just doing them overall, it was a bit more convenient at the time. So I didn't add any jam or anything to my roots, and I can already tell that I've had these in for a few days maybe, and I can already tell that the roots have puffed up and the hair has unraveled a bit at the root. That's another thing, your hair or your twist will unravel a bit at the root if you don't plait the roots. So that's a little bit of a con as well. Like if you don't do plaits or jam, then I feel like you lack the slick look at the roots, probably like a few days in of doing your hair. But if you do no braid or no plait and you add jam, then it looks a little bit cohesive and more slick. And then if you do just a plait with no jam, then I think it will look a bit more cohesive and slick without the jam. I hope that made sense. In my head it made sense, but when I said it, it didn't. But if you get what I'm saying, then you get it. But if you don't, comment and I'll try to help you out. So the last con for short-term mini twists are the frizzy aftermath. Like even after a few days, your hair begins to frizz up a bit more, and kind of how I said the roots will unravel. That happens very quickly after you do your twists, and your roots will begin to unravel. The frizz will begin because your hair is kind of unraveling. Now, if you're once again trying to keep them in for a longer period of time, I would definitely recommend long-term mini twists. But if you're trying to keep them in for a short period of time and your outcome is for a twist out, I would say do short-term mini twists. But it's really up to you what your time is like, what you have planned for the rest of the week or however long. If you're trying to do twists for a protective style, I would say plait the roots and then twist the rest. If you're trying to keep them in for a short period of time, do the short-term twists with no braided roots. That will be all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions based on mini twist or anything about hair really, please comment it down below. I will try my best to answer it. If it's a question that you think I have in the description, please check the description before you ask, just so you could get a quick answer, and it will just be more beneficial for you to look at the description before you comment it. And then check out my latest videos, because I have a few mini twist videos. I have a tutorial on how I do my mini twist. I have a tutorial on how I take down my mini twist, and I also have very cute and easy hairstyles you could try for your mini twist. I know some people only did mini twists during the summer because it was like a little trendy thingy, but I recommend doing them all year round. I think I've recently decided that I'm going to replace my braids, like boho braids, knotless braids, for mini twist. I decided that about a year ago actually, but I've really been consistent with it, and I'm enjoying it. Make sure you comment down below if you'd like to hear a little bit more about my protective style of like knotless braids and boho braids, and how I'm replacing that with different styles that don't need added hair, because I feel like that was a little bit of the reason that my hair wasn't thriving as much as it should be. So comment that down below, and I would love to do a video on that with a little bit more detail. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Once again, if you have questions, please comment down below. I would love to either make a more in-depth video about answering some of your questions you may have, or if you disagree with something I said, that's okay too. Once again, this is just based off of my hair and what I've noticed with my hair out over like plenty of years of getting the style done. I've been doing this hairstyle for I can't even remember how long, but I feel like it's become more of a trend now. So yeah, if you have any questions, comment down below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had lots of fun filming it. I have had these notes in my iPad for a while now, so I'm glad I finally got them out to just answer some questions that you may have had about mini twists and the different ways to do mini twists. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my last video. I don't really remember what that was, but I'm trying to get a little bit more consistent with my videos. Comment down below some video ideas that you may have. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.